Everybody, morning. How's it going? Now accepting pre-orders right here. I survived the 2-day crash of April 2024. Got to be careful on these corrections. I mean, is it a crash? Is it a correction? What's the difference when you're mainstream media? Got to be careful. Got to be careful. So, hopefully everybody survived. All right, there we are. Welcome to the show. Don, Dan, Valerie, Donald, Wade, Sergio, Muku, Philip, Rob, Robert, Robert, Larry. Welcome everybody. Craig, Thrifty Nifty, Arturo, Major John, Rex, Roland, Andreas, Ted, Swinburne, Kenneth, Alan, Teo, Cliff, General Rush. Good to see you, sir. Welcome. And got to take everything in stride, right? Got to take everything in stride with this market. I mean, one little blip when we've been straight up feels like a freaking crash, but it was just a little baby correction. Now we're breaking above the 618, set to go higher on this unemployment rate stuff, and we'll talk about it. Popping over. Morning, everybody. Oh, looks like I need to scoop my little box over just a little bit, move my cans. You see the logo. If you want to chat and say hey, good morning, whatever it might be, click the link right down here. Be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat with us while I'm live. Now, if you're tuning in later in the day, after say 10 o'clock Eastern, maybe I'm not live anymore, well, leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to get back to you. And coming up at 11, oh man, I should have got my collective stuff together here. Coming up at 11, we have a new product coming in hot. And it's gonna throw it over here. Cool. Love that. Anyway, let's see. You can join the room after we're done here. And let me find the chat. After I pop that open, here's the link. I'll try to throw it in here. I'm not even sure what that's doing. That's weird. There we go. Join the room there for the new presentation at 11. Starts at 11. And don't go there yet. I'll try to throw that in the description and stuff too of the video. So the thing is, this is the product formerly known as Beto Beta. So if you're a Beto Income Beta member, you were one of my testers, same thing. All right. If you're one of my Termite Trading Labs VIP members, you have access to everything. All right. Don't sweat it. No FOMO. You're not missing out on anything. You've already got it. Hey, new to the channel. Glad to have you, Elsie. Elsie. I think I got that right. My southern accent doesn't recognize that spelling of that name right there. Welcome. So there you go. That's a new product launch today. I'll be busy for a little bit during that launch. New members, chill. Take it easy. All right, it's not a race. We're going to get there. And jobs report this morning. Craziness. Absolute craziness. And I probably didn't even refresh this. I was all ahead. I was like, I'm feeling good about this. Had my list made. And then I got behind all of a sudden. It's just crazy how that happens. All of a sudden, one little thing throws y'all off. And today is Thursday with the unemployment claims coming in at 221. Oh, no, that's higher by 7,000. Like, come on now. Come on. Look at this. We're ridiculously low, especially when we zoom out. Zoom out a bit. Look, we're at the resting rate. All right. Unless you get a surprise like 50,000 surprise, plus or minus 7, nothing. I mean, look back before COVID here. I mean, look, we were running same neighborhood. I mean, we used to run a lot higher too, 300. Look at that, all the way back in there. Before that, yeah, our resting rate seems to be around quarter million people. I mean, think about it. There's like 250,000 idiots out there that probably get fired every week. I mean, it's just kind of the resting rate of the economy. And them pushing it below 200 is kind of a little crazy because, I mean, I don't think we're going to push it below 200. I mean, think about it. It's just not really like almost feasible that there's less than 200,000 idiots out there that would get fired in a week. So, I mean, we do see some of these low numbers, but I think it's manufactured, honestly, if we get low numbers. That's the thing. So anyway, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never get another one of these right again. I make some crazy predictions. They come true. I get lucky. But maybe my luck runs out one of these days. I don't know. This presentation here is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments like no stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries. Don't buy them. Don't long them. Don't short them. Don't trade them unless you have confidence in what you're doing. You have trust in your abilities. If you desire personal financial advice, that's not what I do. I'm not telling you anything to do. All right. Unlike other YouTubers and financial influencers that might be out there, be freaking careful, all right? Make sure you trust people. But if you need that personal financial advice, go hire and consult a financial advisor that has a fiduciary duty to give you advice based on your situation. But remember, you got to trust them too, because some of them are outright snakes. Even if they're certified, I don't know. I've seen it all. Seen it all. Nobody's watching out for you but you. Number one. Yeah, number one watches out for number one. And jumping into what's moving today. Look at this, baby. Dun, 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 dun. We've got this big. We were up here just a few days ago on the 31st. We did this big correction here. In the small time frames, I was indicating that we might be turning bullish. Came up, tested that 1 hour roadmap line, did a nice, fat, deep retrace. Freaked some people out. Rallied right back. Popping above the 618. We've now tipped the odds. This was the same level I was talking about Monday, Tuesday. That level right there. Breaking above. We are now set up to go up here. Right there is the target. All right. For those of you that saw me go long XSP, and maybe I should do a little teaser. If you're not in Discord, you're brand new to me, brand new to the channel, brand new to everything. You're like, well, what kind of stuff do you do, right? Well, I do a lot of stuff. Honestly, it all kind of surrounds around this orange line. This is like the basis for almost everything. There's a lot of add-on stuff I do. I call this the roadmap line. And I run a Discord server for members that choose to support me. All right, it's not just free for all. I'm not like other people are like, hey, come join my Discord and then I'll try to sell you. No, if you trust me and you buy something and support my family, I mean, it's like $5. Links in the description to get the roadmap line. Then I get you in Discord and there's all sorts of things and products and channels. And, if you jump in here default, you'll just see a few. And there was the trade right there. 4/2/2024. It's about 10 in the morning. I bought some XSP, right? Buying a little tester long on XSP. New high on SPX is the target. But I'll make decisions based on the price action. And I hadn't really updated anything because I'm just sitting there. So where did I go long? Let's zoom her up and look. On the 2nd at 10 a.m. Wow. I picked the bottom. Pretty dang close. Look at that. Right in there. Right in there. 10 o'clock. 10:30. That's pretty dang sweet. So I'm still riding that. And as I said, the target is a new high on SPX, which is, where's the target? Dun, 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 right there. Riding that baby. Riding her up. Now, why, some people say, well, what the heck, XSP? Why XSP? Why not, SPY? There's a lot of reasons, all right? Number one, this is an index. Now, you may have never heard of this before. Maybe like, JT, what the fudge are you even talking about here? You threw up all sorts of tickers I've never heard of. ES1, XSP, what? All right, so look, it's the S&P 500 Mini SPX Options Index. All right, this is an index. You can buy options on it, just like you can buy options on SPX. All right, it runs exactly divide by 10. Like SPY does not run exactly divide by 10 on SPX. XSP does. Another thing, these are cash settled options that are Euro style. There's no early exercise. There's no getting surprise put shares if you're short. There's no surprise anything. All right. These are cash settled and they're tax preferred, like 60% long, 40% short, even on a day trade. So lots of advantages, especially if you're in a taxable account. If you're like, well, I don't care about none of that, I'm in a IRA, you still get the no early exercise regardless. That does not come with SPY under any conditions. All right, SPY is SPY is an ETF. This is not an ETF at all. This is an index that has options. All right, big differences, huge differences. You may be like, well, the liquidity is just not there on XSP. I guarantee you put a competitive order in the market, you're going to get filled. That's the way indexes work. All right, same for SPX. It's a different game. I'm telling you. If you've never traded it, be careful. Start with one. All right. Yes, though, indicating we're going higher. I love it. Love it, love it. Didn't matter what the news was. I was already long back here. Now, why back here? Well, that came from that extension right there. That 1272. We tagged it, formed a reversal pattern. We confirmed it back here. I didn't add any. Confirmed it again here. I didn't add any. Confirmed it again here. So we've got a lot of layers of confirmation that we're 70% likely to go blasting on up here at this point. All right. Any questions, you can let me know in the chat. But there we go. There we go. That's what we're, how did I know what the reaction of the jobs report was going to be? How did I know we were probably going to get bullish? Because we had lots of confirmation coming into it. So far, positioned early. We're likely to, now, if we rally all the way up here today, watch out, there may be a negative reaction to the unemployment rate tomorrow. But if we don't get up there, we may continue the party right on up there tomorrow when we do the unemployment rate and the non-farm unemployment rate and jobs report, blah, blah, blah. The monthly jobs report. All right? Are we on the same page? John, you don't have to tell us your name every day, dude. You literally says John Gomez, and then you wrote John Gomez. All right. Anyway, moving on. NQ. Looking like that was the reversal too. Also, we are now pushing above the 618 retrace level. Setting this up. Not that bullish yet, all right? Probably more like that right there. Probably that. That would be where I expect. And these are fuzzy zones, all right? Something like this. Fuzzy zones, so we could expect something around 18,800 on NQ, which is NASDAQ, NDX, QQQ, all those, all right? Why am I using these funky tickers? Because they're futures and they trade all night. They give me the overnight price action, whereas these indexes stop trading at the end of the day and don't give me any information overnight till they open again, and we just open way up here. That's a huge gap. There's a lot of missing information. But if you roll over to the futures, you fill it in. Same with NDX right here. Dun, 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 dun. See all this missing information? See these gaps? When we use NQ, we fill in that information. There's no gaps, or at least not much. Russell tested the bottom of the short-term monthly trend line. Bounced back up. This is curious here. Are we going to Go retest the top. I don't know. We went down much further, and we have not broken above the 618. So this is key resistance to watch. We don't even have to go down in the lower time frames. This is key resistance to watch on Russell, right? Let's just grab the arrow right here. About that 2130 area, plus or minus. We could get a little higher than that, 2140, and still meet resistance and go lower. So watch out. If ES and NQ outperform on the rise and Russell only stalls out right here, this may be the indication we're about to see a big down on Russell. That's Russell 2000 right there. IWM would be the ETF if you were interested in trading some of this. So I'm watching this key level right in here. If we start pushing above that, I'm actually going to set some alerts. If we start pushing above that, then the target becomes up here, 2190 up here. Oil. Dun, 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 dun. Finding resistance at that next upside target right up there, right around 86. I got to flip this back to the just shy of that 1272. Looking for that target for a long time. Now, if we're going to like this makes it like 50-50. It could be a bearish setup, could be a bullish setup. Stopping here. This is the kind of like, it's the most high probability target, but it's also at the same time the worst target to know where we're going next. Now, if we rally right on up here to the 90 area, I'm very highly confident that we'll get a little pullback probably and then ramp right on up to the 100 area up here. If we stall out here, I don't know, like we're going to have more price action before I'm sure again where we're going. So we're stalling here. If we can hang a couple days and pop the 90 area, I'll feel more bullish. If we reject that, come back to the roadmap line, I'll have to watch the price action to know where we're going next. But we've basically hit the immediate target, the short-term target that I've been looking for since back here in February. The redneck language coming out of me today. Sorry, babe. Anyway. Dun, 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 dun. Gold. Look at that. What a beautiful chart. This has been a pretty good moneymaker on the small time frames. Look at this. Look at these consistent pullbacks and extensions. Yeah, right up to the 1618. Beautiful. Did it over here too. Look, this little baby right here. 1272. Did it right back over here. This pullback. 1272. Right up there. Look, and then pull back. Such a beautiful. These are echoes basically. It's what I call echo trades. It's building on the roadmap line. Like I told you, there's things that build upon the roadmap line. This is echo trades. And I haven't actually been throwing out alerts, but because I've been doing day trades on this. This one right here. So the next one, potential, we break above this level right here. Potential to run on up to 22.29, 23.36. If we fail, probably going to do something more bearish. That simple, all right? That simple. How have I been trading it? With options on futures. So I can get in and out almost 24/7. Alrighty. Moving on. Bitcoin. Look at this. Dun, 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 dun. Finally breaking above that resistance. Can we stick it? Can we keep it going? The confirmation's up here at same pattern. Same pattern as the S&P that I started out talking about. This, why was I stuck talking about this pattern? It's the same pattern. Seeing everywhere. This one's got some more work to do. 69 is the bigger corrective 618. We held this support. We break above this. We've already, like this one was already a break above the 618 for the bigger correction that we did back here. This is a mini correction. Breakup of this, it's like a multiple layer confirmation that we're going on higher. 74, 77 is the ultimate target right up here. And could go even higher. You know, there's the potential to go up to like 82, 84, 85, but that's not the high probability. The high probability is this zone right down here between 75 and 77. The bigger pullback that we did for like the last 3 weeks, that extension is 77. This little pullback that we did for a few days is 75, 74, 74. All right. That's Bitcoin for you. Why am I using BTC1 exclamation point instead of BTC USD? Because CME certifies this price. If you didn't know how Bitcoin works, all the exchanges are completely separate. There's arbitration between them by bigger players, but all of the exchanges and the quoted prices are standalone prices. They're islands out there. All right, there's people that hop between the islands, but they're all islands of supply and demand. So any one exchange could have a vastly different price than others, and there's no, besides arbitrators, however you say that, besides those people that balance the prices between exchanges, there's nothing that unifies the price. Now, this, because it's futures and run by the CME, it is a certified price in a centralized place. So I tend to use that to do my charting just because it stabilizes the price. Now, if we go look up like Coinbase and Bitfinex and Trading Views, Bitcoin prices, we can see different prices. All right, they're not always all the same. Like we look right here, we get a little bit of variation. Sometimes it's a lot of bit of variation. Sometimes it's thousands of dollars difference. Yeah, this one is, we look right here, that one's the index at TradingView. This one right here is Bitstamp Exchange, and this one right here, Coinbase Exchange. And we'll see some variation between those. All right there's a $30 difference. And it jumps around, all right, ebbs and flows. Like I said, there's arbiters, people that arbitrate the prices between the exchanges. Now, Bitcoin is exciting to me right now. Why? Because the event I've been waiting for 4 years is about to happen. We're coming up 2,300 blocks left, about 15 days, roughly the 19th, sometime during the 19th, maybe into the 20th with the 16 hours. We'll see. We're going to get halving. All right. Block number 840,000. You may be like, block, what? So Bitcoin transactions occur in blocks. All right. There's miners that are trying to solve the math problem to authenticate these blocks. Here's the blocks that have been solved. Here's the blocks that are pending. And about every 9.9 minutes, roughly right now, we've been averaging a block of transactions that get approved and committed to the block chain, the chain of blocks. It looks like the last one was 2 minutes ago, the one before that 3 minutes ago, the one before that 30 minutes ago. All right, they can be fast, they can be slow. On average, they're running about 9.9 minutes, and in 6 days, we'll adjust the difficulty to make sure that we stay about 10 minutes. Oh, there's a new one. So there you go, 2 minutes in between blocks, running a little faster. All right, now, right now, currently, the reward for mining one of these blocks, right here, for solving a block, is 6.25 Bitcoins. And usually that, somewhere in here, there's a transaction with 6.25 Bitcoins as a reward. That's the reward for solving the block. Now, there's transactions. People pay transaction fees to get their transactions included in the block. That's added on. That transaction fee thing won't change. All right, you're still going to pay some Bitcoin to get your transaction included in the block. But that reward fee for finding this block is going to go from 6.25 down to 3.125 once we get to that magic number of block number 840,000. That, on the 10-minute schedule, roughly set to occur in about 15 days, give or take a little bit. All right. This is a major event. This only occurs about every 4 years. It's every 210,000 blocks. So the next one will occur at block number 1,050,000. That'll probably happen in 2028, roughly. Maybe like February 2028. It's my wild guess right now. All right. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know about a link posted. This is bitcoinhalving.com right here, and this is mempool.space right here. These are different websites. I mean, they're just available. You can Google it. So this is just bitcoinhalving.com. I don't like advertise it because it's run by Bitcoin Magazine and it's supported by Kraken, and I mean, it's an advertising thing. But I like the countdown. It stays active. All right, it's based on the Kraken exchange. That's where the prices come from on here. And that's what we got. All right, any questions about this? What's happening? Everybody understand this event is happening. It's important. All right. Now, why is it important? Why is it important, JT? Well, that is the question, right? BTC, USD. Let's go to all-time history. All-time history. Let's go to a weekly chart. Let's look at the prior halvings. This will be the fourth one. Let's rewind. Go back in time to a land far, far away. Let's go back here. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to go back. Bitcoin, if you didn't know, it's been around since 2009. So it's 15 years old at this point. 15 years old. Maybe like, wow. So here's the first. Well, let's just go back all time history. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Right here. Bitcoin was worth nothing in dollar terms. Now, all of a sudden, rock along 2010, 2011, people started kind of placing some value on this thing. A whole dollar. Went from nothing to $1. And then we went on up even higher. $32. Oh, this is starting to pick up steam a little bit. And then we got the first big crypto winter kind of thing. We went all the way up here and then came all the way back down here. Lost 93%. Lots of news said it was going like this was just a big scam and a Ponzi. People that paid 32 or, lost all their money. Ouch. Then it kind of stabilized a little bit. And this first thing came up on the radar, this first halving, and people got a little bit excited. And then we had this halving, and then we went on a major pop. $260. But then we went back through another crypto winter after we got done with the excitement. And we went up to $1,200. And then we went through a crypto winter. I should turn this off over here. Dun, 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 dun. Got to get my timeline straight. Look, we popped. And then we went through a crypto winter. Crypto winter lasts a while. Lost 86% of the value again. And then we got excitement. New halving event coming up. Then we pulled back after the halving. This looks a lot like what we're doing right now. Then we went on another run. This run took, before we exceeded this high over here, it took a little while. On average, it takes 200 to 240 days to get to this point after the halving. And this time we're up here already. We're making a new high before halving. That's a little different. So then we go on to the next run, as you can see here. And then we got another crypto winter, another giant pullback. We went from up here at 20,000 all the way down here to like 3,000. Ugh, lost like 84% of the value again. Then crypto gets spicy. Halving coming up. But then we retraced into halving. Ouch. But then we went on the mega run that was during COVID. We popped up, made this high right here in November of 21. Kind of double topped it. And then we went through another crypto winter. This one, we lost 78 almost 80% of the value yet again. Now, we ramped it up. We made a new high before halving. This is unusual. This is something new this time. A little different twist. May we pull back into halving? We might. Maybe we pull back after halving. That's pretty likely. Doesn't have to happen, but it's pretty likely. And then probably we're going to go on some sort of mega rally up into 100, 150, 300,000 possibly. And then once we get up there, we are highly likely to once again do a large retrace. Let's say we got to 300,000. We're likely to do like a 80% retrace. That would take us back down into the $60,000 area where we are now. Ugh. You imagine people, how upset people are going to be. 300,000 down to 60,000. It's probably going to happen out here in 2026. The top might occur sometime in 25. The bottom's probably going to occur sometime in 26. And then we'll start the next move into the next halving in 2028. That's the cycle. We've got it. I mean, it's happened every time before. And there's no reason to expect something different until we prove something different's happening. Now, we did make the high before halving, so something different is occurring. Be careful out there. Nothing's exactly the same ever in the market. It's a dynamic situation. Now, you look at this chart, we could go down. It doesn't have to blast off, but in that small time frame, we're setting up for that extension. Got to get above 69 to confirm it. Same as the futures chart I was looking at a few minutes ago. Got to get above 69 to confirm this. But we've already done a few confirmations, just like S&P did. All we need is the bust above here and the continuation to those higher levels. Ethereum, not looking as, no bueno here. Not looking as awesome. This one right here, while we could be wrapping up this correction, it's kind of a coin toss. This is set up a bearish setup as long as we stay below this level right here, around 34.70-ish. I'm going to give this a bearish bias. Now, if we start breaking above that, 34.70, 34.80, it starts tipping the odds. We're going up instead of down. I'm actually going to bump that up just a little bit more to 34.90. Once we bump up above that, we might go on an extension higher, but we then have this resistance up here, moving lines, where we turned down from. Like we tried to get in there like several days and couldn't do it, and then turned down. Got to get above that if we're going higher. Right here, though, this has a price pattern to go lower in a high probability way. It will kind of muck that up or invalidate it a little bit once we get up in here. And then it's like back to neutral, not so bearish anymore. Could still be bearish, could be bullish if we get up in here. All right. That's where we are on Ethereum. Dollar. Ooh, look at that rejection. That's like slam. That's like getting spiked in volleyball right there. That was a rejection of the breakout. That may, it was 70% likely to go tag that up there. And still is. Return to the roadmap line, still fine. Until we get below this level over here, that's still intact up there. Now, we do start to alter the odds of that happening once we break below this zone right here, this zone of support. We start tipping the odds that we're going on down, but we don't actually confirm that until we break lower than this low right back here. What's moving today? MSTR popping. Look at this. Is like classic price action. I went through this earlier in the week. where we pop up to the 1272, retrace to the 100, pop out to the 1618, retrace back down to the 1272, and then we go on the extension to the next fib ladder. Next, I call it a fib ladder. It's Fibonacci levels, and we tend to bounce, like just kind of ping pong between the levels. We'll reach the next one. A lot of times we'll do a retrace back to this one, then we'll do the extension of that one. Started to see how this looks a lot like stock charts that we see every day. And then we go like this. How some of these moves are bigger than other moves. That's why I've picked the fib lines that I've picked. Fib ratios I picked. The ones I think are important. Doesn't that look a lot like just about any stock chart you look at? So if we're going to continue bullishness, that's kind of what I expect. So upside target for MSTR, if we're going to get there, about 2,500-ish, 2,500. SMCI, now this one's working on something different. Could that go on higher? It could. Setting up something more sinister and bearish here. Very, very cautious. Got my eyes on these. Right here for a flush down to some support levels for SMCI. NVIDIA also kind of working on something more sinister and possible deeper correction. Be careful. I'm not sold on these going higher. Coin, I would really like it to see this retrace back to the roadmap line. This was a crazy pop with, not even hardly any pullback at all in there. I would like to see it retrace back to here, but we may just grind right on up through this resistance. Once we get on the upper side, my targets are 540 and 660, 680. SMG. Dun, 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 dun. And Ethereum and Bitcoin are two different things. Now, Ethereum has something going for it right now. It might be a problem. Now they have, Bitcoin spot ETFs came out in January. That was super bullish. It's been, it was immediately bearish, but it's been super bullish as people accumulated exposure to Bitcoin. Now, spot ETFs are supposed to be approved in May for Ethereum, but the SEC has an investigation into whether Ethereum is a security instead of a commodity. Bitcoin's classified as commodity. Ethereum currently classified as commodity, but they may change their stance and classify Ethereum as a security. This investigation is open right now, and if that happens, we could see a knee-jerk reaction in Ethereum while Bitcoin keeps going up. So this is dangerous times, all right? So if you're not willing to accept that possible risk of a larger downside, maybe don't play in Ethereum right now. SMG, Scott's Miracle Grow. Breaking above that 618, setting this up for 100. That's a pretty sweet chart. Pretty dang sweet chart. How long would that take? Whew, that could take a while. I mean, we could be working on this till out here October. I mean, it could go faster, but it might take a while. Wayfair has never had anything I need. Is in a giant watermelon seed squeeze type situation. Not fond of this baby. We can just churn on out here for years. FSLR. FSLR coming up to the resistance. We've rejected here before. Sideways would be the name of the game. Nothing high probability setting up at the moment. Sideways is what I would expect. That's overlapping and sideways. Now, if we could break above this resistance, there's the potential to come on up in this zone. And when we pull that fib line down to the ultimate low, yeah, up into this zone, to really confirm a bullishness, we're going to have to get above this all the way up here. It's like, yeah, that's a long way. So this is not the best high probability setup. I mean, that's just the way it is. Once we get above this 210 area, we could go to 260. You may be like, oh, that's a bet I want to take. Well, be careful. We can reject that area right up there and go lower low very easily. Just throwing some words of caution out there, all right? Nothing is clear in high probability at this point. It's a little bit like more on the gambling side than it is high probability trade side. Levi, Levi Strauss popping all of the targets. Woo. All right, doing something more bullish. More bullish. More bullish. That high, this low right there. Coming up into that. This is a big, this took a long time. Look, May 21, way before the market topped. May 21, took it all the way down here to October 23. It's participated in none of the positive price action off the lows in the S&P until this point. Now pop it up. If we get to move up through this 24 area, we have set the stage to go up to 35. And you could buy some shares on that one. I mean, that's pretty good. That's like a 50% gain just on shares. And you don't have to worry about time frame or anything like that. If time frame and sweating options is one of those things that you just don't want to do, look for some of these patterns like this. Take your spot. Take your spot. High probability entry. 50% gain. 50% upside. That's a pretty dang sweet setup right there. It could take us out till June 25 to get there. Or maybe later. But if you're in shares, you don't have to worry about it. How can they define Ethereum as a security? Because it's controlled by an authority. Like, that's a fundamental difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is controlled by all participants of the network. Ethereum is controlled by a small handful of people. One main guy and a handful of a consortium, and they kind of pull the puppet strings on Ethereum. If you didn't know that, well, you should be careful trading Ethereum. And if we pop over here, where is it? I think that's it right there. Let's go up here, go back here, go over here, and right here, Bitcoin has a max limited supply. Ethereum, on the other hand, does not have a limited supply. Unlimited supply. Infinity is the max supply. So at a whim, the people that control this, Vitalik Van Buren, or whatever his name is, Vitalik, right here, this name, Vitalik Buterin, this guy can just decide that, hey, I think the Ethereum should have more Ethereum out there. They change the code, they push it through, and all of a sudden, there's more Ethereum. It's not limited. And right now, they're burning more coin. That hasn't historically been the case. Right now, they're burning more coin than they're making. And right now, it changed to proof of stake instead of proof of work. So instead of mining, you just hold some Ethereum and you get paid for holding and authenticating the network with your hold, your HODL. And there's a lot of fundamental differences here. When they made that change, the chart changed too. I rewind for a second. ETHUSD, pop over, look at the all-time index. Dun, 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 dun. Right back here, it was in September of 22. I don't know why I don't have a vertical line. I probably should. It's probably on a different version of this. So right around here, I think it was right there exactly, the 11th of September. Now, in anticipation of this event, we bottomed here. We rallied up, pulled back. That proof of, it used to be mining just like Bitcoin. Well, not just like, but very similar to Bitcoin. You know, I could make $5 a day on just about any GPU I had mining Ethereum. But this day right here, that all stopped. That all changed. And it went to proof of stake, where you had to stake down Ethereum to be an authenticator and that was the way, like, people that were staking it down and authenticating were given newly created Ethereum for authenticating the network. It's called proof of stake instead of proof of work. Proof of work is you solve difficult math problems and authenticate the block. That's proof of work. Proof of stake, something totally different. All right? It's a random chance and blah, blah, blah. But you know who controls the random chance? This guy. They control the puppet strings. All right? Now, the code's audited, blah, 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 blah. Sure, yakety schmackety. But anytime they want a code change, they just decide to change the code and then push it through. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, okay. very much not like Bitcoin at all. If you want to be a participant on the Bitcoin network, just go to bitcoin.com or whatever it is, download the Bitcoin software, take you a couple days, take you about a terabyte of space on your hard drive, and you can be a participant on the Bitcoin network, authenticating, a node, as they call it, on the network. You're not going to mine Bitcoin, but you're going to be a node on the network, keeping track of the ledger. All of those participants, all those nodes on the network have to approve a change in order for a change to go through on Bitcoin. That is not the way it works on Ethereum. Very fundamental difference. Now, might this be bullish? Might. It kind of topping out about where I thought it might top out. That could lead to a bearish move. Moving on. Yeah, yakety schmackety. I say a lot of stuff off a movie. You'll probably find that as a movie quote somewhere that I picked that up. Anyway, Labu. This is playing with fire. This is leverage. First off, it's leverage, and second off, this is also a biotech. So super dangerous. That's two of the things that don't always follow my patterns. We broke out above this downtrend of highs, came back and retested it, actually dropped on down, tested the roadmap line so far. If we break out of here, get above, really it's back above this high at this point. You can see we high there, that little intermediate little sucker right there. Zoom it up just a little bit so you can see a little more clear. This little high, this little high. We get above that, probably come up here for an extension. If we don't do that, probably going down here. Maybe way on down here, lower low. That's big numbers. Be careful out there. This is leverage, 3x leverage, and it's biotech, which biotech's just horrible right now with the raising rates environment. There we go. CEG. We are popping. Constellation Energy. This one looks like it's just reach for the sky. Watch out for a bigger retrace. I'm not really interested until we do a retrace, but we can just keep making extensions. I don't really have a good way to project at this point. It's kind of like NVIDIA and SMCI, just way beyond extensions. AMD looks like we're working on the correction that I was expecting. My target's all the way down here, back at 100. Be like, oh, that's a long way down. Am I trading this for the downside? Shoot, no. Nothing's guaranteed. We can find support in here and go higher again, and that can continue indefinitely. It's just high probability right now that we get a bigger, deeper retrace. I mean, not like high probability I'm trading on it. It's just a higher probability than getting further extensions at this point. HDB. No idea what they do. That looks like a bank, major bank. No idea. That's a long-term downtrend. Be careful. That it's pretty nasty. And it doesn't look complete to the downside. Got that high. Resistance to that 618. Usually we see an extension lower. We don't have that so far. Lower highs. This one may plummet out. VRT. Another crazy straight up chart. I wouldn't touch it. Careful. Now, I've gone through this several times. We get these crazy moves up. Once the euphoria is, everybody's a genius. We're all going to be rich. You hear this on NVIDIA and SMCI. Once we get to that euphoria point, the market loves to take suckers' money, and we do this rip. Be careful. That looks like one of those things. Be careful. Win. Hey, we're tipping the odds. We're going to go up to 126 on win. Pretty nice. Not doing the bear. Didn't reject that 618 area. We actually we're confirming a move above 126. And really, we have this last bit of resistance right there. We've got to work through, and then we're set on the path. Tesla. Support at 158. Resistance, all sorts of resistance above us. May churn into earnings coming up right here on the 23rd. Celsius was popping, and sorry about that if you could hear that noise out there. And this may do an echo of a prior retrace. That's what that was drawn on there. All right, that I removed. That's a prior retrace. That's an echo of it. This retraced, echoed right off of that high. We can hold this area and go higher. And how much higher? It can be an echo of this extension. Right here, pulled over off that low. Wow, that puts us way on up there. Yep, it sure does. That's the beauty of these echoes right here. So 128 right there. Potential for Celsius. Decliners, LW. Oh, right on down. I do kind of expect that to go test that 75 area. RPX, Riley Exploration, Permian Basin, and retrace. Got slammed. Probably came out with some sort of oopsie news. Race. Eventually, this is the last move. I don't know if it's here or we're gonna do a couple more extensions. Could go up here. One of these is the final move, and then we're gonna probably do this bigger retrace on Ferrari. Bow. It's just the way these work. Val's just turning sideways for a good long time. RPM coming back to the roadmap line. It looks like that one usually does a nice big fat retrace occasionally. Square. Having trouble getting that extension. Back to the roadmap line, possibly. And it's going right up the line so far. See, that was the 1272. Like, we bounced off the roadmap line. 1272. Retrace. That would set up another opportunity to go higher again if we can do it. Right now, I'm just sitting there waiting. Just waiting. LGVC sounds like some kind of SPAC situation. I wouldn't trade that. Nope. And medtech specialty. I mean, it's basically biotech classification for me. I'm not trading stuff that FDA gets involved in. Just too unreliable. We do gaps ups and we do gaps downs, and ugh. KYCH, that's a SPAC and looks like it's going in the toilet. Deal may fall through. I don't know. Google, a little bit of retrace, a little bit of trouble getting the breakout, but 161 is the upside target here on Google. All right. That was the pre-market poppers and droppers, and my bias for the day is looking for that higher high in S&P I've been talking about for a couple days. So we all survived the crash of early April 2024. Push on up would be my next expectation. Right there is the target for S&P. Right there. Somewhere around that 52.80. Be conservative. Book your profits ahead. Just a higher high is all we really need to finish the pattern. 52.70, 52.65, 70-ish. And we look at the futures. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. There you go. Retracing a little bit. Pushing the extension. And the target. Right up here. 53.60. Right up there. Alrighty. Now, like I said, I have a brand new thing coming out here at 11. I'm going to do a presentation. If you want to come join me, right there is the link in the chat. And if I said anything today that was helpful, make sure you give me a thumbs up, like a like on the video. I'll be back live again tomorrow morning doing the same thing, same bat time, same bat channel, right here on YouTube. Set your calendar. I do this 9:15 every morning. Go through the morning what's popping, what's dropping, talk about the news, and try to help you figure out what to watch for the day. So have a great day, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow, or if you come join me at 11, I'll be there with my bells on.